Hi Scorpio, welcome to your end of December 2019 General Tarot Update. It's Raina here. Somebody just wrote to me and said two Capricorn videos and no Scorpio video. And I swear I thought I did a Scorpio video. I wonder if it is on one of my memory cards. Well, I'm going to do it right now, and then I'll have two Scorpio and two Capricorn videos. Ugh, what can I say? I do apologize. I'm getting a lot of swords cards, you know, with whatever the sign is. Oh, maybe this is an Aquarius. A wayward Aquarius. I'm talking about everyone. See? There you go. More. Okay. More swords. And I don't know what that possibly means, because I'm not talking about just one particular sign. I've been getting this a lot. Swords can sometimes be conflict. Swords can be a lot of communication, maybe a lot of back and forth communication. The heart of the matter is the Hermit card. So, you know, we know what a hermit is. But there can be different interpretations of it in your life, Scorpio. By the way, this card connects with Virgo, so if there's a Virgo person that you're deciding about whether or not you want them in your life, that could be what's going on too, I guess. But the hermit, you know, we associate hermits with solitude, but there's a reason that they are engaging in solitude. It's not that it's just they're antisocial, it's because they're trying to get in touch with their true self, and they don't want the noise of the outer world to kind of drown out their inner guidance. And sometimes, you know, if it's not like an actual spiritual thing that they're doing, they could be doing it because they simply are, like, if you're separating from a spouse, that time apart is, you know, I think that can be invaluable, because you can see how you feel every day when you wake up, and you're not influenced by that person. They're not there all the time. Those are the kind of things that you can't really experiment with when you're in the same space with somebody else. But simply, like, removing yourself from that situation can give you the perspective that you might need. So it could be one of those things as well. And in the past position, we have the Two of Swords. This can be like, you know, being at loggerheads with somebody where you're kind of butting heads. I could definitely see it with an Aquarius, because you're both fixed signs and you square off to one another. But just in general, that sense of like you can't find common ground with somebody. Also, because of the blindfold, this could be like you're at the horns of a decision, but you're not thinking clearly, or you don't have that kind of awareness of the truth. It could be, the blindfold could be denial, that you're lying to yourself, you're not seeing what's really there, and that is affecting your decision-making ability. And the higher message is the Ace of Swords. And I think what it means in this context, this is kind of like the higher perspective or the spiritual message, is when you choose to see your situation as it really is, then you will be released from this, I don't know if you want to call it inertia or this blockage, and you can move forward in your life. And, you know, the Ace of Swords, it's like you're charging ahead, but you're doing so with clarity of mind. You're not like living in that illusion anymore. What crosses you is the Star card. This is the card that's associated with Aquarius. So if this is a person that you're dealing with, they may not be straight with you. They might be somebody who you care deeply about, but they don't have your best interests at heart. The Star card is about having faith in the unseen. And in my experience with fixed signs like Scorpio or Aquarius or Leo or Taurus, they seem, or you seem, to need a lot of guarantees sometimes. You know, obviously I'm broad brushing, but, you know, and there can be this sense of like, I want to know what's going to happen. I want to have my future predicted to me. And really, in the upright position, the Star card is faith in unseen forces, and that's all that we have. We cannot rely on psychics, astrologers, and anyone to truly tell us what's going to happen, because if we did, that means that we're all victims of fate and there's no free will, and anything you do is meaningless because it's not going to change the outcome. I don't live that way, and I hope that you don't either. And yet, I do believe that we can only do so much, and then we have to kind of believe that the universe will support us. And if you are the type of person, Scorpio, who has trouble having that kind of faith, that you need more reassurance than that, then it may be hard for you to like truly move forward in your life, because you may feel like, oh, but what if this happens or that happens? And you have to believe that anything that happens that wasn't what I wanted may be something that later on I'll look at and say, that was for the best. What's coming in is represented by the King of Cups. If this is like somebody who's interested in you, this could be a mature water sign male who I would say gets you. Like, for instance, if you are dealing literally with an Aquarius, or by extension the other air signs like Libra or Gemini, these are signs that can have a hard time with water signs, because their approach to life is totally different. And nobody is wrong. You're not wrong being more emotional, and they're not wrong being more intellectual. Actually each can teach the other a little bit of how to kind of like either be more detached or be more in tune with their feelings. But the point is that this kind of a person would be a good match for you overall, because water signs who are dealing with air signs can sometimes get can misunderstand that type of attitude and think that that person is doing something to them. And it's really not fair, because obviously it's just a different way of approaching life. And so if there is somebody that comes into your life who is like the King of Cups, it would be good to, give them the time of day, even if your type is more of that Aquarius. And especially if you have the moon in an air sign, you may feel that sense of balance with such a person, because you have, and I know that I've done charts for people that were Scorpios and they had the moon, for instance, in either Aquarius or Gemini, that I can specifically remember. And so those are different types of Scorpios than some other Scorpios, because they're going to have that detached part of themselves. And so they may find themselves attracted to, or if you have Venus in Sagittarius, for instance, you may find yourself attracted to fire signs and air signs more than water signs. But when it comes to commitment and things like that, then that's where it can get a little bit frustrating for you and you don't know what to do. Well, even though you're attracted to certain parts of a person, I think that a water sign person has a whole package for you, because not only will they empathize with you, but they will also be more likely to commit. And that's something that's very important to Scorpio, because you're, very deep in your affection, and you want somebody who matches that. Now, I did pick as the outcome card the Five of Swords. This can be a card of an empty victory, where you win the battle and you lose the war. So, for instance, we have that Two of Swords. That could be somebody like agonizing over who they want to be with. Maybe there's like two people that they're with. I didn't automatically think that was necessarily you, but whether it might have been you or someone that you're with, initially, if somebody picks you over, let's say somebody is married and I'm not saying you even knew about it beforehand, but you find out that the person that you have fallen in love with is actually married, and yet you're too far into it and you can't give it up. So you're like, okay, you have to make a decision, and that person chooses you. You might think, they've chosen me, but it's an empty victory because you don't trust them, you see. And Scorpios already tend to have trust issues. So, that scenario might not even be very valid, because some Scorpios would never allow themselves to get mixed up in an extramarital situation, because if you value fidelity, you don't want to be with somebody who doesn't do so. But I can definitely see with the Two of Swords that could be true for some of you in one, way, shape, or form. But, sometimes it does happen that somebody conveniently forgets to tell the other person that they are connected to somebody else, and that person finds out about it and is like, by then they're like madly in love with that person, so they may not feel like they're able to just walk away from it. But that doesn't mean that they trust them either, so that can be one of those things. So I wanted to get a clarification card, and I got the Ace of Wands. So we have here two aces. One is more of a mental thing, where you're able to see through the lies, cut through the lies, and see the truth. And this is like really independently moving on. So it could give a hint to deciding to carry on by yourself because you feel that perhaps a situation isn't really a good one for you in terms of moving forward with a particular relationship. This to me was a little bit difficult of an interpretation because when the Hermit card is front and center in the reading, my feeling is, okay, well, what is this person? Why are they wanting to be alone? Or why are they doing soul searching? Yeah, I mean, I could see like even searching your heart if you are involved in an extramarital affair. I know I'm going to get some Scorpios are saying, I would never do that. Don't accuse us of doing that. But, you know, it was a little bit hard to kind of interpret this one. But in any case, Scorpio, I hope that some of this resonated with you. If you would like a personal reading, I'm really promoting now my natal chart interpretations in 2020 transit readings because they're topical, they're things people are looking to the new year, and what I like to do is I like to try to see the bigger picture of the year as a whole, and this is using your particular natal chart. So this is not like a YouTube reading where it's kind of general. This is specific to your, you know, we're talking about like unequal house systems, so you know that totally changes things up. And so anyway, the link to a couple of those types of readings are below. I hope that you have an amazing end of this year. I'm looking forward to the next year, but boy, has this one gone fast, hasn't it? I think it has. Take care. Bye.